For a while, it felt like James Spader simply disappeared from Hollywood. One moment, he was everywhere, commanding attention, stealing scenes, leaving audiences unsettled in the best possible way. The next, the phone stopped ringing. No announcement, no farewell tour, no dramatic exit. He wasn't missing because of scandal or failure. He was missing by choice. And that raises a question. Why did James Spader step back from the spotlight? And why did it never seem to bother him? Spader's story begins with a childhood shaped by contrasts. He grew up in the dormitories of Brooks School, where his father taught English and his mother taught art at a nearby school. Later, he attended Phillips Academy in Andover, one of the country's most elite prep schools. On paper, he was surrounded by privilege, opportunity, and intellectual rigor. In practice, life was more modest. Living on teacher salaries meant resources were limited, and he quickly learned that ambition alone didn't pay the bills. Despite being immersed in education, Spader was never an exemplary student, restless and mischievous. He often found himself at odds with the rules. School felt like a cage, and he found other ways to occupy his energy. By the age of 10, he was running errands, babysitting, selling products from a makeshift stand, and even experimenting with a homemade campus newspaper. He had curiosity, initiative, and an instinct for survival, a need to make, sell, or accomplish something that no classroom could satisfy. His parents nurtured his independence. He often praised his father's calm, fair authority, which earned him respect from students and siblings alike. Observing people, understanding behavior, and absorbing subtle dynamics became second nature to him, lessons that would later inform his nuanced performances. Everything changed when Spader discovered acting. The stage gave him focus for the first time in his life. It wasn't just a hobby. It was a world where his energy and intensity fit naturally. By 17, he left school and moved to New York City, determined to pursue acting full-time. The road was far from easy. Auditions, rejection, and odd jobs defined his early years. He shoveled horse manure, worked random gigs, and even taught yoga without any formal training, improvising poses and routines just to earn a living. It was chaotic, absurd, sometimes ridiculous, but it was survival. Spader's striking appearance created another challenge. He was too handsome to be the unconventional, textured character he felt inside. Hollywood cast him as a villain when he didn't fit the mold of a clean-cut leading man, and he leaned into it. Throughout the 1980s, Spader became the actor audiences loved to hate. He specialized in playing arrogant, manipulative, and morally complex men. In Pretty in Pink, his audition reportedly triggered a visceral reaction from the casting director, an immediate, physical dislike for the character he portrayed. By the late 80s and 90s, he moved into lead roles, but they were never traditional. His characters were intense, obsessive, sexual, and psychologically complex, a reflection of the openness and casual exposure to human behavior he experienced in his childhood. Growing up in a household that treated bodies, sexuality, and privacy as natural rather than taboo left him with a fascination for desire, power, and human interaction. For many actors, 40 marks the point where work slows down. For Spader, it marked the moment when he finally had clarity about his career. He never chased fame or attention. He prioritized family, summers with his children, and roles that were compelling rather than commercially guaranteed. The turning point came in 2002 with Secretary. Playing E. Edward Grey, Spader crafted a character of obsession, control, and emotional detachment. His co-star, Maggie Gyllenhaal, recalls the first table read where he barely acknowledged her. He was fully inhabiting the role. The relationship between actor and character mirrored the film, ritualistic, tense, and precise. This ability to blur the lines between performance and reality would become a hallmark of his career. Television later became a natural home for Spader's particular energy. On The Practice, he portrayed Alan Shore, a lawyer brilliant, manipulative, and morally flexible. When the character transitioned to Boston Legal, paired with William Shatner, the result was unexpectedly perfect. Spader's composed, deliberate style balanced Shatner's theatricality, producing a series that was both comedic and emotionally rich. He won consecutive Emmys for his work, cementing his reputation as an actor capable of both intensity and nuance. Spader has also been near other iconic roles. During Anchorman's casting, he was obsessed with playing Brick Tamland. Creators hesitated. Spader's cerebral, controlled demeanor clashed with the character's chaotic, cartoonish nature, but he immediately understood the humor. The role ultimately went to Steve Carell, but the story highlights Spader's keen insight and willingness to pursue unconventional opportunities. When Steve Carell left the office, Spader appeared as Robert California, originally intended as a brief cameo. The character expanded into a central role, a calm, unsettling presence amidst Scranton's frantic office environment. Spader's precision and intensity were undeniable, but the character often overshadowed the ensemble dynamic. The office relied on vulnerability, awkwardness, and human desperation for connection, qualities Robert California lacked. While technically masterful, his performance disrupted the emotional engine of the show. This period reflects Spader's broader career philosophy. He prioritizes craft and curiosity over visibility or commercial success. He has consistently sought roles that challenge, unsettle, or intrigue him. Dream Lover, Crash, Secretary, and voicing Ultron and Avengers. Age of Ultron are prime examples. Even in mainstream franchises, he favors characters defined by intelligence, danger, and moral complexity, rather than spectacle or accessibility. Off-screen, his life mirrors this ethos. He built a family, slowed down to prioritize presence over career acceleration, and avoided the celebrity treadmill. He is known for a controlled, obsessive approach to work, halting scenes for small details until moments feel emotionally truthful. He eschews publicity, red carpets, and social performance, choosing instead to immerse himself fully in craft. Spader's on-screen presence, confident, commanding, morally ambiguous, has become his signature. Even when portraying gentler characters, there's an underlying intensity, a sense of observation, and control that sets him apart. From villains and antiheroes to intense, unforgettable protagonists, Spader has carved a singular path. He is respected without omnipresence, celebrated without saturation, and admired without needing to dominate mainstream consciousness. James Spader didn't vanish because he failed. He vanished because he chose not to participate in the Hollywood machine on its terms. He works intensely when he wants, disappears completely when he doesn't, and lives according to priorities far outside the industry's demands. That balance between intensity and absence, control and unpredictability, curiosity and detachment, is what has made him one of the most compelling actors of his generation.